She stood in the doorway, arms folded, chin tilted high, the same stance she used in board meetings. "You're sleeping in the guest room until you apologize." Her voice was sharp, polished steel, the voice of a woman who believed she had already won. I didn't argue. I didn't explain. I just said, "All right." And I watched the flicker in her eyes. Confusion, disbelief, maybe even insult. She wanted resistance, a fight, a plea, but I gave her nothing. The guest room was silent, colder than our bed. I lay there staring at the ceiling, her words echoing, not because of what she said, but because of how easily she said it. Like she had rehearsed, like she had already detached, like she had been preparing me for distance. The silence became a cage. I thought of her phone turned face down every night, the sudden late meetings, the carefully controlled smile when she texted under the sheets. Something snapped into place. This wasn't about an apology. It was a test, a push to see how far she could go before I broke. I didn't sleep. I planned. Morning came. The sound of her heels on the hardwood floor echoed like a countdown. She entered the guest room, her perfume flooding the air before her words did. "Well, have you come to your senses?" Her eyes swept the room, bed neatly made, closet door ajar, and then silence. Her gaze froze on the empty space where my clothes should have been, the hangers swinging like faint whispers. Her jaw tightened. She turned to the desk, to the crisp envelope resting on top. Divorce papers. I didn't need to speak. The truth was already inside her. But what truth? She didn't know what I knew, not yet. The nights she came home later and later. The careful deletion of messages, though the patterns always left traces. The way she touched me, mechanical, absent, as though her body had been borrowed. I replayed every look, every silence, every excuse. It wasn't one thing, it was all of it. A collage of betrayal too precise to be coincidence. My side of the closet was empty, but her side? Still full of illusions. And she didn't even know they were about to collapse. I started with the phone bills. Numbers repeated, late at night. Numbers saved under harmless names. I memorized them. I dialed one, once. I didn't speak. A man answered. His silence mirrored mine. We both knew who we were and what we weren't saying. Then I went further. Receipts tucked into her purse. Dinner for two, paid in cash. Hotel charges disguised as corporate expenses. I didn't rage. I didn't confront. I collected, like evidence for a trial that would never reach a courtroom. At night, I lay beside her, listening to the shallow rhythm of her sleep. My chest tight, my jaw clenched, my hands curled into fists beneath the sheets. But I never touched her, never woke her. I was already gone. The final step was quiet, a private investigator, discreet, professional, a man who knew how to stay invisible. Photos arrived in a sealed envelope. Her hand in another man's. Her smile, the real one, not the corporate mask. A hotel door closing behind them. I stared at the pictures for hours, not because I doubted them, but because I wanted to burn into my memory the exact moment I stopped being hers. When she told me, "You'll sleep in the guest room," she thought it was punishment. But it was freedom. And freedom has a cost. She found the papers first, but later she found the folder, on the desk, open, intentional. Photographs spread like playing cards, each one a blade. Her face went pale, then red, then pale again. Where did you get these?" Her voice cracked on the last word. I didn't answer. I didn't need to. She staggered back a step, her hands trembling as she tried to gather the photos, as though hiding them could erase the reality bleeding into the room. "You don't understand." I raised a hand, quiet, cold, final. Her words died. I had already understood, long before the pictures, long before the lies. I had understood the moment she weaponized the guest room. That wasn't a marriage, that was control, and control is fragile. I stood, walked past her, opened the closet, empty on my side, perfectly staged on hers. "You asked if I've come to my senses," I said, my voice low, detached. "Yes, I have." Her lips trembled. Her carefully curated armor cracked. The CEO who commanded boardrooms shrank into a woman caught in her own game. I walked to the door, stopped, turned just enough so she could see the calm in my eyes. "You thought the guest room was exile," I said, "but it was a rehearsal." She flinched. "For living without you." And then I left her, surrounded by the evidence of her undoing. The car was quiet, my bag in the back seat, my life packed into suitcases. I didn't feel rage, I didn't feel grief, just clarity. Betrayal doesn't destroy you, it sharpens you. It burns away illusion until all that remains is truth. And the truth was simple. She had already left me long before the papers. I had just returned the favor. As the house disappeared in the rearview mirror, I realized something. I wasn't running from her. She was the one left behind, trapped in the life she built, with the lies she chose. I didn't need to win. I only needed to walk away. And I did, without looking back.